the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach, and fitness expert, Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance. This is your chance where I sit down with today's tops in business, mindset, wellness, and success to help you master disruption and thrive.
Thanks for coming, and we'll see you soon.
She's a seasoned expert in performance, renowned for her resilience and unwavering determination, overcoming numerous obstacles. She's revolutionized the fitness industry with innovative products and strategies. Her unwavering commitment to helping others achieve their best shines through her coaching and inspirational talks, making her a beacon of grit and expertise. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Forbes Riley.
Well, she sounds like somebody I want to know.
I was impressed. I was impressed the first time I met you many years ago.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I set out, and I tell the story, to lead a life that would impress you. If that makes sense. Somebody said to me when I was very young, "Oh, you'll never be world class." And that stuck with me going, I don't even understand what that meant. And I grew up with very little money, and my dad was in the hospital for many years. And I think, you know what? I'm going to set my sights on becoming world class, whatever that means. And that's been the life that I've been leading.
It's so impressive to me because I've read a lot of your background. I know your story. I've been following your career for years. I want to talk to you a little bit about your firsthand experience in mental resilience and your pursuit of success.
All right. Well, ask away, because I could talk for about 3 hours just on the concept of staying positive.
Well, I love the story where you just let off saying how you had to prove people wrong. And I know that's been a recurring theme in your life. So what can you help our audience with? You know, we've all been through so much in the last 3.5 years alone about how can we have that kind of mental resilience and pursue success again and again with grit.
So one of the secrets is consistency. And it's interesting because as we're in a new part of a year, we all go back to the gym. I've been going to the gym 1 to 2 times a day, which I hadn't been doing previously. In fact, my husband reminded me that I spent a lot of the last 2 years sitting in this chair, teaching and coaching and building a very big coaching company. And he's right. And he is a professional bodybuilder, so he knows. And as I've been going back every day, I'm realizing that's what you need to do with your mental. And I've been playing around with my own mental, because here's the thing. Life is not easy. Everyone walks around going, it's not fair. Well, if you find the book that says life is fair, share it with the rest of us, because I've never read it. I've read that life is anything but. Yeah. And so if you don't think about it that way, but you do believe that life happens for you, not to you. Well, if that's what you believe, it's almost my religion. You take every moment, whether it's a good or a bad or a tragic moment, and reframe it to work for you. Now, you might say, well, Forbes, how did growing up as an ugly girl with a broken nose and braces for 8 years and a tongue twister who couldn't talk, I didn't have many friends growing up. How does that work for you? That sounds like a horrible childhood. No, I'll tell you what it taught me. Lisa, it taught me to dream. It taught me to watch TV and movies and imagine that there might be a life better than the one I was leading. And I set out to find that. I literally, at 17, kissed my mom, who was 260 pounds and a little agoraphobic and didn't want to leave the house, said, I love you more than anything on the planet. And then I thought to myself, I just don't want to be you. And I'm going out, and I found Europe on $20 a day. It was a big book by Arthur Fromer. And I said, I'm going to see each page and tear out when I see the landmarks, and then send you a postcard. I'll come home when I have just the cover. I was gone for 6 months on an adventure. That was crazy. And if I hadn't been willing to do it alone, it might not have been so wonderful. I had a Walkman, a camera, and a journal. And that's all I took with me. And it was magnificent. Was it always easy? No. At some point in Paris, when I landed and I asked somebody for directions, he pushed me into an alleyway and tried to rape me. And I got over that. I jumped off a moving train in Figueres, Spain, with a guy who had grabbed my backpack and said, "Follow me." I'm like, "It's my stuff." The next thing you know, I'm rolling in the dirt to see the coolest museum ever. And I made a lifelong friend. And so I allowed myself that opportunity. But as I'm listening to myself say all this, there's a conversation in your head. There's a little voice in your head. If you listen, you'll hear it. Now, one of the ways, Lisa, that I do this is an experiment. You know that you're conscious right now, right? We're awake?
Yes, hopefully.
But did you last night grow your hair or make your sweat glands or move your poop? Did you do that?
No.
No, but somebody did. Somebody did. Are you a mom?
No.
Okay, well, I pushed out 2 children same day, 10 minutes.
Oh
Somebody,
my God.
I said to my kids, I think I made your hands on a Tuesday. I had nothing to do with it. It has happened, right? So I think about, is there somebody in charge of your subconscious that when you go to sleep, that there's someone who makes like a person you could talk to? Who's in charge of that? Who's the forewoman or foreman of your subconscious? And I ask people to take their hand like this, and you can do it too. Put it right down there and say hi. And literally, you should try this.
Okay.
Say, hey, I want to say, I'm sorry for all the times I put you down. Go ahead.
I want to say I'm sorry for all the times I put you down.
Look at her. Look at her.
Look at her.
Yeah, seriously, like look at her and go, I really am. And I want to also say that I love you. You've
I
always been there
love
for
you.
me.
You've always been there for me.
Now, when you say that, what does she say back to you?
She says, "Thank you for loving me and supporting me. And the self-love piece has helped me heal so much in my life." I'm so glad that you brought that up because we've all been through so much pain. And your
Oh,
story.
wait, stop for 1 second. You heard her say something. That's the part I want you to understand. I'm not kidding when there's someone else in your world that you could, in fact, open a doorway to
Yes.
and thank her instead of putting her down all the time and saying crazy things that make her upset, like, "I'm nervous to do this," or "I'm a loser," or You're saying that to a person who has no sense of humor, who says, "Okay, I guess we're a loser. We should lose more." Or, "I guess I should be nervous. So somebody make the sweat glands go, make her heart beat faster." If you develop a positive relationship here,
Yes.
like you just said, this is a healing conversation. And
Mhm.
by the way, it's a two-way conversation.
Listening to your subconscious and your inner child, if you would. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not even saying inner child. This is not a child.
No.
This is a grown woman who's been with me my entire life. Her job is to make sure that I have my hair growing, my nails growing, my digestion working, my heart pumping, my lung, and she's going to be here till 7 minutes after I leave the planet. Did you know that? Your
Wow.
subconscious. And she was here the day I was conceived, long before I ever showed up. And
So
if you could talk to her,
yes.
and this is what affirmations do, guys. You're so busy going, "I am wonderful. Well, guess what? When you say I'm wonderful, it's like saying I'm wonderful to you. And then you goes, "Okay, I am wonderful. You are fit. You are healthy. You are happy." Okay, we're fit, happy, and healthy. Because I'll tell you what, if you say the opposite, you will be sick. You will have dis-ease in your life. And Lisa, it was just so beautiful, that moment that you just did. I heard you hear her. It's like, oh my God. Why don't we have this
Emotional.
conversation?
It is so emotional for me because your story, Dr. Forbes, is so impressive to me because what you are saying about anti-fragile, it's not just grit, resilience, and performance to me. It's about things happen to you for a reason and you did not survive them. You did not even thrive in them. You became better because of the challenges that we've both experienced. I hope everybody in the audience is listening to this right now, because I know we've all been through some hard times in the last 3.5 years.
Congratulations. No, but here's the crazy thing. Congratulations. What makes you decide, Lisa, that it's a hard time or a good time?
Wow.
What if all times were just good for you? Some are challenging, some are emotional, some are tragic,
Yes.
but they're good times for you because it makes you who you are.
Exactly. And I've had a lot of lessons out there myself in resilience and grit. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you for everything you've been through, everything that you've succeeded in, all that hours and hours and years of hard work that you've put in, because it wasn't nothing was handed to you. I want to dive a little bit deeper into the mindset that we need to develop to just never give up, consistently go after what we want and fail forward. How do we
Well,
navigate
here's
that?
the question. First of all, stop saying fail forward,
Okay.
because it's not we think about failure in the wrong way. You attempt to do something, it doesn't work, move on. If you label it as a failure, you'll feel like a failure. It's a weird thing, the words that you use to describe yourself. But as you just said earlier about that you've overcome things, do you think, Lisa, truly that anyone's had a much better life, that their life was easier? That's why they're successful? Is that what you believe?
Not at all. I feel very fortunate for every roadblock that I've hit and all the good things too. I feel
then
grateful.
then you and I live in a different space than most people, because most humans are stuck on, oh, they had it easier, she was born rich, she's prettier than I am, they can do it all. What you do not realize is they all went through the same stuff. They've all had issues, and you can never look at first of all, if I look at a beautiful woman, I know she's gone through some stuff just because she's a beautiful woman.
Absolutely.
You get abused, you get thrown away. I was listening to J-Lo talk just yesterday about how she's perceived as being a diva because she's a bit of a perfectionist. Her male counterparts are not perceived that way. So
Right.
here's a woman at the very top of her ladder, a triple threat, and she's still talking about this. So she doesn't have it any easier than you and I do. She probably works harder, though, than both of us to be able to sing and dance and be a mom and make movies and do what she does. Do you work that hard? Because if you do, you would have similar results. If you stop dwelling on the negative, you would have similar results. And then you got to get out of your comfort zone. Because here's the crazy thing. I don't know what your comfort zone is. I don't know. This is a box. I love when people say, Forbes, oh, you so think out of the box. You know what my answer is, Lisa? What's a box?
Right. I love that. I love that.
You can do all that. That's how you stay small. You decide, I'm out of my comfort zone. Screw it. I'm sorry. I've jumped off a building. I've jumped into space. I've dove down 120 feet. I don't have a comfort zone. I just have a zone. This is the zone I'm in. And by the way, when I get nervous or I get those little tinglies, it's like, yes, I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. Most of you are like, I'm so nervous. And your little girl's going, oh, we're nervous. Guess you should shut down, start to sweat. And oh, don't do that to yourself. I walked out on a stage in front of 10,000 people at the Mandalay Bay Hotel at a convention of mostly men who didn't really want to hear what I had to say.
Right.
And I rocked it. You know why? Because I gave myself permission to do that. And before I walked out, I said, you are one badass, and you go have a blast, and you inspire them, and you do what you do, and you have fun. And it's funny because somebody sent me a song. Somebody made a rap song using some of the words that I said during my speech.
Yeah.
Because it pretty much, the song goes, I'm Forbes Riley. I think I was out there to have the most ridiculous time and with no judgment. And I didn't necessarily know what I was going to say because I had parts of a speech, but I threw my hands up, and at the end of it, Lisa, I took my high heels off because my feet were hurting, and I danced around the stage barefoot, and I said, you know what? At the very least, here's what I'm going to give all of you guys. Permission to be you, to be crazy, to be disruptive, to be not liked, to just go out and be the best version of you. Try you on for size. You might be very surprised.
I love that. There's so much to unpack in all this conversation. I know it's a short podcast. I don't even know when you guys are going to be listening to this, but this is part of Disrupted with Dr. Forbes Riley, how to be gritty and unlock performance. And I want to just discuss the role of consistent habits to get to a level where you have been and just achieving peak performance and sustaining that success over time.
It's the screw it, just do it formula. Write down literally what you want. I want A, B, C, and D. I want a new book. I'm doing this right now. Great. If I want a new book, what do I have to do? And write it down, because the act of writing is the act of manifestation, and then chunking it down. So if I want a new book, I got to work on the chapters. If I want a new book, I'm going to write whatever, and I'm going to write every day. I'm going to spend 10 minutes, even if I stare at a blank page. And nowadays with ChatGPT, you cannot stare at a blank page. But I'm going to do that every day. I'm going to go to the gym. You don't get to wake up in the morning and go, I don't feel like it. I'm going to the gym, set a timer. And here's another thought process that I've been doing. Pick a word. Rich people, successful people. Right now, my word is rich.
Love it.
And I walk around saying, rich people. Rich people don't have clutter in their bathroom. I'm a rich person, and I redid my bathroom. Rich people go to the gym every morning without question. I'm going to the gym because I'm a rich person. Rich, and I said that because I grew up poor. So my little girl is hearing, oh, okay, so we're rich. Lisa, I've been doing this mantra for the last 5 days since New Year started. Rich people stand up taller. So you better stand up taller because you're a rich person. And I found myself walking differently because that's what rich people have cute colored pens in a jar. Now I've got cute colored pens in a jar. So I would do this, talk about consistency. Do a 2-week challenge with yourself. Find a word. Successful people do this. Successful people read for 10 minutes a night. Successful people go cold plunge. I'm a successful person. I better cold plunge. Successful people, in my case, go to the sauna. And I found myself saying it because my little girl, my little me, is so used to not being rich. She's so used to struggling and asking how much does that cost? And some of it's not even real. I mean, I've made a lot of money in my life and my career. I live in a multi-million-dollar home, and but somehow in the back of my mind, my mom was a bit of a hoarder. And so I haven't let go of some clothes from high school in my closet. Rich people don't do that. Rich people purge their wardrobe and I kept going, all right, if I keep saying this, and I challenge you to find a word. And rich may not be what you're working on, but I think successful is, because you must do what successful people do to be successful. Successful people don't put themselves down. I am successful. I am no longer allowed to put myself down. Successful people, blah, 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 invest their money. Successful people don't waste their money on frivolous things. I'm successful. And I'm going to probably do this as a real challenge because it has inspired me, Lisa, out of my mind. Wow. I literally walk around and I'm doing things differently than I've ever done before because I'm choosing to live like I've never done before. If you're happy where you are, do the same shit. Have the same conversation in your head, play in the same way, hang out with the same losers, good on you. Or right. Successful people surround themselves with really smart people. You're successful, who's around you. Successful people go on podcasts like Lisa's. I'm successful because I'm on Lisa's podcast.
I love that. This is why I wanted to talk to you. I hope you guys are listening to this in the beginning of the year, because how you start the year is going to dictate the whole rest of your year. And my last question I want to talk to you about is, we touched on this slightly about embracing failure and not using that word. I get it. Okay. But let's just talk about turning setbacks into opportunities.
Well, but Lisa, give me I can't generically do that. Okay. What is a setback? I launched a skincare line. I had people invest $500,000 in a thing called Forbes Flawless, and it did not work. Ultimately, for whatever reason, however it went down, it wasn't pretty. The project didn't work and it doesn't exist today. Is that a failure or a lesson? For me, it was a lesson.
Right. And lesson.
So what is yours? What are you referring to specifically?
I've launched plenty of projects that have not done.
Well, give me one. Give me one.
I've launched interview series. I've launched
no,
challenges.
No, hang on.
I've done a book.
Stop. Do you want the best coach or no?
Yes, I do.
Give me one. Give me one that you're specifically thinking of, and God, look how gorgeous she looks.
Thank you. This is my Skinny Jeans workout DVD. Came out right before 2008 when nobody had DVDs anymore.
Well, why did you launch a DVD in a time when no one's doing DVDs?
Did I know that was going to happen? Absolutely not. I just
wait, hang on. No, wait, hang on. Did you take that same content and make it into a YouTube series?
Oh yeah, I repurposed.
Okay, so what part is a failure?
I felt like a failure monetarily because it didn't do as well as I had intended it for it to do.
Well, that's interesting because you set some expectation and now you're a failure. If you set a lower expectation, you would have exceeded that. That's a strange way to be, by the way.
It's happened many times, though.
Well, I'll tell you why. Who's your business coach?
My first business coach, I'm not going to say any names right now, told me that all you have to do is launch a product and in 3 months you're going to hit all your income goals. And that didn't work. So I didn't enjoy the journey and I didn't feel successful.
Okay. So I'm going to listen to me. That's a silly mentor. You can't make that kind of promise. That's ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, make sure that you've got the right kind of coach. I coach people now that's what I do for a living. I've got 22,000 students, sometimes in group coaching, sometimes in one-on-one. And so I would take you because, Lisa, here's the thing that you're harboring. You set out, it's a fitness workout, correct?
Yeah. Oh,
what's the name of it? Turn it around. What's the name of it?
Workout. Lisa G.
What?
Skinny Jeans Workout. Skinny
Jeans Workout, which is a great title. What was your goal when you set out to make this DVD?
To reach more people.
I don't know. Now, that's interesting. What's the word more mean?
I know that's not a concrete number. I love your mind for business, Forbes. This is amazing.
Well, it's what I do. So if you said, look, I've got a great skinny jean workout. I want to sell 10,000 of these, not reach more people.
Right.
And did you also, as you were making this, what was the business plan that you had? Did you also create a diet program that they could do? Did you realize that now membership is a really big thing? Maybe you were a little ahead of your curve. If you still love this product, take it onto YouTube and launch it now. I got to tell you, I've launched my spin gym. I sold 2.5 million of them when I first did that in the first 5 years. The last 6 years, haven't done very much with it. Is it a success or a failure? Depends on how you look at it. It depends on what your intention is. But if I asked you some very specific goals, but here's what I'm noticing. You're harboring the fact that you failed. I don't think you did, my girl. You produced an entire series. Is it a good looking workout? Do people like it?
Yeah, it was voted top in-home workout by Life and Style magazine, top 10.
Well, I haven't received that and I'm very successful. So apparently you must be doing something right.
Thank you.
And is it content that you literally want? Did you repurpose it? And if it's not important to you anymore, then it was a lesson.
Thank you for that reframe. I love the way that you're looking at the journey instead of the numbers you want to hit.
Yeah, well, because and here's the problem with the number that you want to hit, is that you just walk back there with a sense of, I'm going to show you how I failed. And I'm going to say, no, the fact that you're holding a CD in your hand of workouts is better than 98% of the people who never made that, my girl. Okay?
Thank you. That's such a great, I love the way your mind works. I know I've such a short time with you and I'm not going to abuse that, but do you have any final tips for our audience on how they too can reframe failure as a stepping stone to success?
Yes. Come on a Sunday. I'm just came back to doing Sundays live. I spend 2 hours every Sunday. I did that for 3 years. I call it www.pitchsecretsmasterclass.com. And let me work with you, because I'm going to tell you something, Lisa. You cannot learn to swim from a book. You cannot learn to fly a plane from a book. All the information is there technically, but the goal is to practice and have somebody who has a different perspective than you push you. It's why every Olympic athlete, every football player, baseball team has many coaches. Because just like I took what you were dealing with, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to make you feel so much lighter. And shift the perspective, because I'm not you.
Thank you for that. It really did make me feel like more of a success than I had initially. So where can people find you, find the Sunday and all of the good things?
Well, you see my name down there, Forbes Riley. Just go to ForbesRiley.com and everything I have is there. I've got a free gift for you. I'm always putting up a new free gift, whether it's a new way to pitch or a great way to find new podcasts to be on. I love giving out free gifts. And then at the moment, if you're listening to this, probably for the next year, I'll be there every Sunday live. And I'll have between 20 and 200 people on this call. And I'll pick out people. And what I just did with Lisa, I love doing. Because even if I don't work with you, the genius of what you got to see is you saw Lisa's face and her whole physiology change when she realizes this wasn't a failure. I freaking produced a DVD with my workouts on it that I can do more with if I want to. Or maybe I should rethink now that memberships are easy to do, a workout over 50 for women, a workout over 60 for women, and maybe include this as a free gift. Hey guys, you know what? I've got a skinny jean workout I'm going to give you for free when you sign up. It never goes away, the work that you do. You finished a project, so good on you. And if you're listening to this, the only projects that don't work are the ones that you don't finish. We have a motto in my company on the wall that says finishing is happiness. But we also say that don't let the perfect ruin the good. So some of you will never get that book out, or you'll be like my dad, who never got any of his inventions out to the world. And when he died, his entire garage got sold to people in a yard sale, and it was embarrassing. all the things that he loved and cherished so deeply, and he held it so tightly. It's just not done. It's not done. It never saw the light of day. That shattered my heart. And I set out for many years to bring inventors and put them on infomercials, to put them on home shopping, to make that $1 million. Lisa, unlike your coach, I can't guarantee any success, but I can guarantee that if you finish a project, you have something. You have a book you're holding in your hand. You have, this is my mouse pad, okay? My little pitching mouse pad. I'm holding it in my hand. It's real. It's something I finished. So many people design things or create things and they don't go anywhere. Get the book out there, and you know what? It's never going to be perfect because there's no such thing, but there is done, and done is really fun.
I love that. Done is better than perfect, and done is fun. Dr. Forbes Riley, thank you so much for all your wonderful sage wisdom bombs.
You know, I love that you're still putting out podcasts and doing it, and that you look as beautiful as you look. I will tell you that at a certain age, my husband's a professional bodybuilder. Last night, he turned to me and he said the oddest thing. He said, "I'm so glad that you're not fat, that you didn't let yourself go." Now, don't anybody take exception to this. It's not whether I'm fat or skinny. But what he meant was, so many times men or women will get into a great shape, find their mate, and then let themselves go. And go is your physical health, your endurance. It's a lot of things. It's not just size. And I look at my face and my body at my age compared to my mom, and we don't look like we're related. And I said to him, you know, it's been my personal mission to stay in shape, and not just I got you, but my goal is to keep you excited and interested. I mean, my God, you're a bodybuilder. You go to the gym every day. I'm 63 years old. I got to make sure I don't fall apart, because I'll tell you what, when you start to fall apart, it's a very quick, slippery slope. Hard to get back. So don't let it go.
Well, thank you, Forbes. It's amazing.